If you've ever wondered how to crochet a perfect circle, then look no further because today I'm going to walk you through it step by step. To make our perfect circle, you're going to need to know how to chain and single crochet. And if you know how to do those, then you'll be good to go. But if not, I'll make sure to link those in my description so that you can learn how to do them. And without further ado, let's get started. To get started, we're going to need some yarn, your hook, a yarn needle, scissors, and a stitch marker, but if you don't have one, you can also use a safety pin. Start with at least a 6-inch tail so that you can sew that in at the end, and then make your slip knot like normal. You want to pull it just tight enough, but not too tight. Set up your yarn, and then we're going to chain 3. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then here in the third chain from the hook, or the first chain that we created, we're going to slip stitch into it. And if you're not sure how to do that, I will show you real quick. So you take your hook, you place your hook into the back loop of that first stitch, you yarn over and you pull that first loop through, and then you pull the second loop through. So what we're going to do is we're going to work into the middle of the circle. So first, chain 1, and then you're going to put your hook not under this first loop, but under that second right there, which will get you into the middle of your circle. From here, we're going to single crochet into it. So we'll yarn over, and instead of pulling a stitch through, we'll pull the circle through, and then you would yarn over and pull your last 2 loops through like normal. And that kind of opens up the middle of the ring that you made. So we're going to go back into that for a second time, and we want to create a total of 6 single crochet all the way around. What you're going to do now is you're going to join into, you can see this is the chain we made at the beginning. We don't want to join into our first stitch. So we want to join into that chain stitch, the back loop, join with a slip stitch. Now you finished round 1, and we're going to move on to round 2. So we're going to yarn over, and from here, before you go anywhere else, I actually like to take a stitch marker. Funny story, I don't know where my stitch markers are at right now, so I'm just going to use a safety pin, and I'm not going to mark my stitch with this first chain, turning chain, but I am going to mark it under that slip stitch that we just did, so we know that at the end of the round we do not want to crochet into the slip stitch. So we got our chain 1, and now we're going to begin our increases. So we're going to start into that first stitch right here after our chain. We're going to do a single crochet like normal. What makes an increase different is we don't jump to the next stitch. We'll actually do another single crochet back into the same stitch. So normally you would jump over to the next stitch, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to put our hook, you can see our previous stitch where our single crochet is coming from. Place your hook back into there and do another single crochet. So basically you get 2 stitches into 1 stitch to make an increase. And we're going to do this all the way around the circle. So I'll show you again. We'll go into our next stitch 1 time like normal. And instead of jumping to the next stitch, we go right back into the same stitch. So we're going to do this all the way around, and it will have a total of 12 stitches. I'm almost at the end of round 2, and I just want to show you right here. I'm at the last stitch before my stitch marker. So I'm going to do an increase in that stitch. And from here, before we do anything else, we want to make sure we have 12 stitches. To make a perfect circle in crochet, you need to have the correct math. So we're not going to count the slip stitch from the previous row. And then the chain follows that at the beginning of the row, and we're not going to count that either. So we're going to start here at our first single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to skip over that slip stitch where our stitch marker was, and we're going to join with a slip stitch into that chain. So there is our slip stitch, and that is the end of round 2. Let's go to round 3. So chain 1, and then place your stitch marker back in, not the chain, but in that slip stitch. We're going to start round 3 with an increase. So into the first stitch of that row, do your increase, which is your 2 single crochet into the same stitch. And for this row, we're going to alternate an increase and then just a regular stitch. So we did our 2, and then in the next one, we'll just do 1. Now in our next stitch, we'll do an increase, just like we did in the last row. 2, and then following that, we'll just do 1. And we're going to repeat this all the way around. So I'm going to keep doing this, and I will meet you at the end. You should end round 3 with just 1 single crochet. So you should not be ending on the increase. If you are, your math is probably wrong. So at this point, just to make sure that we're right, again, we're going to go ahead and count our stitches. And we've got our safety pin or our stitch marker and the slip stitch, and then our beginning chain. We're not going to count those. We're going to start in the first chain or the first stitch. I've got my 18 stitches, and I'm going to remove my safety pin. From here, we're going to join with the slip stitch, not into the previous slip stitch, but into that first chain. So join with your slip stitch, and now you have completed round 3. To move into round 4, we're going to start again with our single crochet. We're going to place our stitch marker in our slip stitch. And now we're going to start with an increase again into that first stitch. So 1 single crochet and then another single crochet into the same stitch. And this time we're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So we did our increase, and then we'll do a regular single crochet in 1 stitch and a regular single crochet in the next stitch. So we're going to do that again all the way around. We'll do an increase followed by 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. This time at the end of your round, you should have 24 stitches. You should finish each round with the last stitch of your sequence. So I've got my last single crochet right there, and I've counted to make sure I've got my 24 stitches. Again, we're going to remove our safety pin and then join with a slip stitch into that chain. I joined with a slip stitch and then put my stitch marker in the slip stitch, chain 1, and now we're going to go for round 5. So we're going to start in the first stitch. We're going to do an increase, so 2 single crochet into the same stitch. And now we're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So we've got 1 single crochet, our second, and our third. We'll repeat this sequence all the way around, so 1 increase followed by 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And at the end of this row, you should have 30 stitches. I've got my 30 stitches, and I'm going to remove my stitch marker, and now I'll join to that beginning chain. And then at this point, I'm going to fasten off. If you wanted to keep going just for practice, in the next round you would do an increase followed by 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches all the way around. And then after that you would do an increase followed by 5 regular single crochet, and then 6, and then 7, and so on. And that is how you keep your increases really clean to make a perfect circle every time. If you found this video helpful, then I would love to have you like and subscribe so that we can meet here again next time for another crochet tutorial. Thank you so much. Bye.